Hey guys, it's me. It's your best friend. We just released these shirts. If you want to buy them, you click on the link. Click on the link in the description below. We got one Zerg High, one My Life Friar. That's what it says. If you can't tell, around the Zealot, and then we got the 3 Marines, Crackhead, Patches, and the Medic running around. Wait, 2 Marines and a Medic. These shirts are only available for a limited time, so get them while it lasts. Hey guys, it's me. It's your best friend. It's John Burton, Carbot Animations. I've been asked to do more tutorials by some of you guys, animation tutorials. So that's what we're going to do today. First off, the animation program we do use for all of our cartoons is Adobe Animate CC. You can check that out at adobe.com. This video is not sponsored, so I mean, I actually really love this program. To me, it's the easiest thing to use. And the animation we're going to do today is a run cycle. We're going to use the Zealot as a run cycle. So the best thing to do when you're creating a run cycle, especially in Adobe Animate, we're going to draw the character in a running pose, which is going to be the most extreme pose, with one of the arms as forward as possible, and then the opposite leg being as back as possible, and vice versa for each opposing limb. Once you have your drawing of the kind of the blueprint of what the character is going to look like while they're running, you can then go ahead and make it a symbol and name it whatever. Symbols have their own timeline, so they're going to loop its animation on the main timeline of the animation. So it's going to make it very easy to reuse the run cycle, and also for the run cycle to, if the character needs to run across the screen, you don't have to animate every single step. Once you animate it once, it'll continue to loop its own animation. So what I do is I use a lot of layers. The body will be one layer. Once you're done the body, you can create a new layer and make an arm on top of the body. I want to start with the arm that is on top of the body so you can see what the heck is going on. And once I'm done drawing and coloring that arm, I'm actually going to make that arm a symbol too. So we have a symbol within a symbol. A little bit of inception going on. Once we double click into that symbol, we're actually going to make it a symbol again. And the reason for this is because we want the arm we want to use a motion tween with the arm. And it's going to make it a symbol automatically if we try to do that. And so we want to make sure the anchor is at the shoulder. The anchor is this little dot here. It basically anchors where the symbol, when you rotate the symbol, how it's going to rotate, or if you skew it in any way. So now we're going to make a motion tween with the symbol that we just created within a symbol within a symbol. Don't get lost on me here. And basically, we're going to make that arm swing back and forth again to its most forward position and back position. And once we're done that, we can exit the arm swing symbol and go back to where the body is with the arm on top. This run cycle is going to be 10 frames long, and so everything has to be 10 frames. So the arm swinging back and forth will be 10 frames. Once we copy that arm, we can put it on another layer and put it behind the body. And because our run cycle is 10 frames, the most opposite frame is actually frame number 6. So we're going to make the symbol start on frame number 6 of the opposite arm. The way you do that is you go to the Properties tab, go down to First, which is first frame. You can either type in or scroll and make it a 6 instead of a 1, which means it's going to start on the 6th frame and not the first. So I don't want to lose you guys here, but basically why it's the 6th frame is because it's the furthest from 1. It's not frame 10 that's furthest from 1. It's actually next to 1 because it's going to repeat. So it's actually, frame 10 is right next to frame 1 when it comes to the cycle. Frame 6 is the furthest frame away. It's halfway through basically. And that's why you want to start one arm on frame 6 and the other arm on frame 1. That'll give it its cycling between which arm is in front and which arm is in the back, and it's gonna again cycle between the two. We're gonna do the exact same thing with the legs. So we're gonna make a new layer between the front arm and the body, and we're gonna make a leg. We're gonna draw that leg, turn it into a symbol, and this time though it's gonna be we're gonna spice it up a bit. We're gonna do frame by frame animation, which means we're going to draw every single frame. The reason why I do this for legs is because legs need to squish a bit and stretch, and the foot bends as well. And so it's better to do frame by frame animation for the leg, so they look less stiff and like they're actually running. If you do use a symbol, which you can, it'll just look a little bit more stiff, which is fine when you're starting out. So feel free to do the exact same thing that we did with the arms, with the legs, if you want to make it a little quick. But I'm going to animate each leg frame by frame to show you how it's done. And we're going to start with the key frames of the leg. Again, that is the most forward frame and the furthest back frame. And the most extreme frames are going to land on 1 and 6. So we do those first, and then we do the in-betweens, which is every frame in between the keyframe. And that's basically joining them, slowly moving the leg across. As you can see, the foot kind of bends as it moves across the ground. And the whole leg changes a little bit of form. So once we colored that, we're actually going to exit the symbol, and then we're going to copy that leg and make a new layer in between the body and the arm that is behind the body. And at this point, if you press playback and you've pasted the leg in, it's gonna look like the zealot is hopping on 2 feet. This is what happens when you haven't alternated the animation and start one of the legs on the 6th frame and not the 1st. So we're going to keep one leg on the 1st frame and the other leg we're going to start at the 6th frame, again going to the properties tab. You want to make the right arm and the left leg in sync, meaning the right arm is forward and the left leg is forward, and then vice versa with the left arm and then the right leg. They're going to be in sync with them being at the back. That way it'll allow the zealot to run in a proper motion. If you do the opposite, if you have the right leg and the right arm forward, it's going to look really, really weird. And it obviously doesn't make any sense because it's like you're pulling your legs with your arms and it looks not the way you want it to look, basically. So be sure to cycle the limbs properly, the right arm and the left leg and vice versa, starting on the same frames and the other ones on frame 6. If your run cycle is 8 frames, then it's going to be frame 5. If it's 20 frames, then it's going to be frame 11 and so on. That's going to be the middle frame. To give this run cycle a little bit more oomph, I saved the circle on the chest as its own layer, and so we're going to make that into a symbol, and we're going to squash and stretch it as the torso moves slightly from left to right as he's running. You don't have to do this. You can just draw the circle in. I'm doing this as an additional option of how you can spice up the run. So if you exit the symbol, you can now see the run cycle looks pretty good. It doesn't look too bad. And we can actually spice this up a little more by turning the whole run cycle into another symbol. And you can call that whatever you want. The reason why we're going to do this is because right now he's running and he's not bouncing whatsoever. He's kind of almost like he's gliding along the ground. It looks fine for a simple animation, but if you do want to make it a little bit nicer, you can do this as well. So once you made the whole run cycle into an additional symbol, we're going to right click and make it into a motion tween, and we're going to make the zealot bounce up and down. So in this timeline, you want him to bounce up and down twice because there's 2 legs that are alternating between the 2. So we're going to make the first frame and the last frame the exact same keyframe. You just press F6. You don't move it yet. And then the middle frame, again, this is frame 6. We are going to make that the exact same position as well. So we can hit F6 on the middle frame as well. The frames in between these 3 dots, we can actually, I think I chose the frame 3 and then frame 7. We can drag the symbol down a bit on both of those, frame 3 and frame 7. If you play it back, you can now see the zealot is bouncing a bit. I even made him bounce forward, not just up, but a little bit forward, not too much. You don't want to do too much. And then bouncing up as well, especially. So if you exit that symbol now we have the zealot bouncing up and down while he's running. Again, most of the time, actually almost every time, for a good animation, you just want to isolate each section so you're not trying to do everything all at once. You can always adjust and add to the animation later on. Make sure you do the proper planning. So that's it, guys. That's how you do a pretty decent, easy run cycle. So run cycles are a little bit difficult, especially when you're first starting animation. It's because the limbs are kind of going everywhere and they need to be the opposite. And I've seen plenty of people, they kind of get confused of which limb is where. You can actually darken, as I did in this animation, the limbs that are on the behind the body. You can do that by selecting the symbols that are the limbs behind the body, the leg and the arm, and going down to color, and then clicking the drop down and going to brightness and adjusting the brightness to make it a little darker. This will help you follow what the heck is going on, or you can kind of just decide here, you can change the visibility. One more thing before we go, we can do a bit of a macro here. This is what we do with crowd shots. If we want lots of characters running in on screen, and we don't want to continuously do new motion tweens to make them run across, we can actually, again, make the zealot another symbol, his bouncing up and down run cycle, and we can create that into a 3 second, however many second run run across the screen animation, which is super easy. We just need to right click, make a motion tween, and then go to the furthest frame and drag them across the screen. So now when you exit out of that symbol, again, we're like inceptionizing here like crazy. Once you exit out of that symbol, you can now copy and paste that symbol, shrink and grow, put it behind in other frames, and you can have a beautiful crowd shot with proper perspective. All the zealots are running the same speed, but now there's some are in front, some are behind, and it saves you a lot of time. Again, getting to know the programs that you're animating in and using it to your advantage can save you tons of time. I did not do this at first when I first started animating and doing YouTube videos. The more I do it, the more time I save, and the more I'm kicking myself that I should have done it before. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it made sense. It is very technical. Spending some time and wrapping your head around the technicalities of the program, again, will really help you understand it and make the program work for you. So that is the basic run cycle. Again, you don't have to do the bouncing up and down thing. You could have stopped halfway through this. But those two extra things are kind of icing on the cake, making it a little bit better and a little bit more effective in your animation. So guys, like the video, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you would like to see animation tutorials in the future on, for those of you who are interested. All right? Okay, good. All right, best friend. Talk to you later. We'll hang out this weekend. Okay, bye-bye.